What's going on, all? It's the aftermath. Spence versus Ugas. Thanks for tuning in once again. Jay's channel. If you're new, man, hit the red button. If you're regular, thanks for your time. I always appreciate people that stop in. Look forward to the comments and all that, man. So we're talking about Spence versus Ugas after the fight. So we got Spence winning by stoppage. Round 10, Ugas's eye was shut complete, and the doctor decided to stop it. Now, I believe that was the right call, for sure. It was a very one-sided fight. There was one round that Ugas did win. That was round 6. That's the round that I want to talk about. Now, Ugas came in this fight a lot different than he usually does. Usually you see him trying to use his height, use his distance. On this occasion, he was moving forward. I think that he thought that Spence was vulnerable, or maybe he was looking for opportunities early, because of Spence's eye. But the problem here is that Ugas wasn't really using the jab. He was going for the power shots. Spence started off with double jabs. When he landed that left hand, then all of a sudden Ugas wanted it to be that sort of fight. It's like he felt the power, and he thought, man, I've got to retaliate with my own power, But the problem here is that Ugas is only a 40% knockout ratio guy, Spence is probably 80, close to 80. So he's challenging a guy that's a lot more powerful than him, and he's wanting to brawl with this guy. He's wanting to exchange with this guy. And that's the problem there. That is the problem there. Spence comfortably goes inside the pocket, deep inside the pocket, where he's landing multiple hooks to the face, to the body. He breaks down the body. He outlands Ugas in all, categories. Ugas seems like he's looking for the knockout blow, but he doesn't have the power to do it. Now, he did have a good chance in round 6. I did say, in my previous video, that if Ugas has any chance of beating Spence, he's going to have to hurt him within 6 rounds, and he done that. He hurt him in that round 6. It wasn't enough, though. What it was the right hand that caught Spence as Spence was going for a left hook. Now, this is the problem here. Ugas had a lot of opportunities to catch Spence when he was going for those hooks. He was throwing a lot of lead shots. But anyway, in this exchange, Spence is going for a left hook, and Ugas catches him with the short right hand, which staggers Spence. He buckles his legs, and then he lands a right uppercut, which makes Spence lose the mouth guard, and then I believe he gets him with the 1-2 that, sends Spence against the ropes. And Ugas could have won it then. That was his opportunity to really try to finish him off. Think about it. If the ropes wasn't there, Spence would have fallen down for sure. Without a doubt. Spence would have fallen down. So the ropes being there was actually a more of an opportunity for Ugas to finish him off. Ugas had that chance to just go for it, but instead he allowed Spence to come back forward. And obviously Spence being Spence, doesn't give away any weaknesses or anything like that. He's always coming forward, jumping in and out of the pocket, throwing heavy shots, power shots. But there's a point where the referee calls a timeout, and I believe that also had an effect on Spence recovering. You can clearly see Ugas landing on Spence in that round 6 after he hurts him, and that was his round for sure. That was his only opportunity in the fight to win. He wasn't going in there to try to outbox Spence. He was going in there to try to hurt Spence or knock him out. Possibly, thinking that Spence is vulnerable because of the layoff and the eye surgery and all that, but, he obviously wasn't. Spence, after that occasion, came out with a lot of left hand leads, hooks, where Ugas could have thrown that right hand lead, thrown that right hand that hurt him in the first place in that round 6. He failed to do so, He was covering up his eye that kept getting worse and worse. And you saw Ugas just a sitting duck, sitting punching bag, getting ready to get hit, trying to exchange with the guy that has heavier power than him. Spence is breaking him down throughout the rest of the fight, and that's all it is, man. They called it off. The doctor said you can't continue, and that was that. Now Spence obviously now is the unified champion. He has all 3 bouts, got 1 more bout missing, so he's looking to challenge Crawford for the Undisputed, which is definitely going to go ahead. They're both calling each other out. You saw Spence calling out Crawford at the end of the fight, and that fight, I see that fight going ahead. I don't see anything happening to prevent that fight. Crawford handled his business with Porter. He got rid of his mandatory challenger. He did what he had to do. Now this is the fight. This is the fight for boxing, best fight ever that can be made. Spence versus Crawford. This fight will be next, for sure. And I'm looking forward to that fight. I will definitely do a breakdown of that fight as it gets closer. But what I wanted to say as well is that, it's a good thing that, or I'll say I'm happy that Spence didn't fight Pacquiao when he was 42. The damage that Spence done to Ugas was the worst damage that I've seen Ugas take. And, it just shows that Spence is on a higher level. Obviously, a prime Pacquiao would have, beaten them all in my opinion. But I'm just saying, a 42-year-old Pacquiao against a Spence like that is, spells out trouble. That would have been a hard fight to watch, in my opinion. That would have been definitely a Larry Holmes Ali moment for me, I believe. A legend taking a beating. That's my honest opinion, and I just had to say that. I am a huge Pacquiao fan. I'm just happy that fight didn't go ahead. And, all was said, all was sawn. Everyone saw what happened. And Spence is definitely back, looking sharp, and he is the unified champion now. And that's great, Just another quick update, it's good to see the Tyson Fury Dillian White fight starting to spark up now. You see Dillian White training and Fury, on the phone press conferences, which I'm not a huge fan of, but at least it's good to see more excitement to that fight. Now that fight's next weekend. I'm expecting that fight to be a great outcome, a great turnout, I should say. I believe it's going to be a packed stadium. It's going to be a huge fight for Britain. It's going to be one of the biggest fights in British soil. Two heavyweights on that level, going head to head. Both pay-per-view worthy fighters, and it should be a classic. I hope that there's a lot more build up to it. I was actually hoping for gloves are off. I believe that would have been a classic to watch. But hey, it's good to see the training now, and you can see that they both mean business. Now there was a lot of people out there, spitting out, false news about that fight being cancelled, but obviously it's not. And Dillian White will be silly. It'll be silly for him to turn that down. It will be his biggest mistake in his boxing career. This is his only chance of the title since he's been a professional fighter. And he ain't going to give that up. You can see that he means business. You can see that Tyson Fury means business. You've seen him sparring and things like that with Gerard Muller and people like that, well-known, or I should say known fighters. He's definitely, finished his training camp. And obviously Joe Parker and people like that will be working with him. And Dillian White, it's yet to be seen who he's been working with. We're going to find out, I believe, within the next couple of days. It's only 1 week away. But that's another fight to look forward to. Fury versus White. I might do another video on that later in the week. But hey, man, thanks for hearing me out once again, man. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate your time. Like I said, if you're new, hit the red button, man. If you're regular and you watch the full video, man, I appreciate it. It is the aftermath. Thanks for tuning in, man. Peace. God bless.